I knew some artists that were talented, and I knew there were people who would enjoy hearing them, and I knew those artists would benefit from being exposed to those audiences. So that's why it was me. That's why I started the festival, and then talking to different people. That's when, hey, you should do a workshop. Hey, you should do a panel. Hey, think like South by Southwest or something. That's how it all kind of came to be.
Oh, and that's how it evolved over time.
And now it's evolved over time into what it is now.
What is up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Foureva Podcast. Man, we got a special episode today. I think for all my people that put on events, attend events, they're going to learn a lot about this, but also people that like to create things that are unique and special, in entertainment, community, business, and also the essentials, the skill sets to get people to the next level. We're going to get into some awesome conversations. So it's your boy, it's your host, Jamar Jones of Foureva Media. And man, I can't wait for this conversation. So we got my man, Devin Jenkins in the building, man. What's going on? How we doing?
What's going on, Jamar? I'm glad to be here, man.
Man,
I am elated.
dude, I was just telling them that, like, dude, we come like our podcast kind of going crazy right now. So this is going to be no exception. And so it's a good time to hop on. Dude, so first of all, just let everybody know who you are and also what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Devin Jenkins, aka Jink the DJ. Currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a wife, 2 daughters. So I'm a family man, husband, father, but I'm a technologist, work at GE Healthcare by day. I'm in IT, and then I am the founder, CEO of Share the Vibes LLC, which is the culmination of all my passions. I'm naturally a connector, always have been. I love music, always have, and I'm a technologist, so I've always had an interest. I'm in a passion around technology. So Share the Vibes connects people through music and technology, to put it plainly. I know we have professional DJ services. We have Share the Vibes podcast, which if you dig through there, you'll see Jamar on one of those episodes as well. When we were just getting this thing started, so he's a legend in the Share the Vibes world. Yes, we also have our annual Share the Vibes Music and Technology Festival, which we'll definitely get into here today. But it's all about it promoting emerging music artists, providing technology education, and bringing people together in a safe, fun space where you can build relationships that matter, get skills that enhance your life. And ultimately, all this is using music and technology as the vehicles to build thriving, engaging communities. That's really kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah, man. And that's exactly what you're doing. Because how many years have you been doing Share the Vibes?
So, yeah, this is 5th year of the business, 4th year of the festivals. Yeah, this is the 4th one.
Yeah, man. So, hey, consistency is amazing. To even just put on those immersive events and do that time and time again. Yeah. It's definitely a celebration, for that. And also, if people go to sharethevibesllc.com, man, I'm telling you right now that front page picture,
that's the one, huh?
That's the one. That's the one. If you guys go on there, so just a fun story that we had the man DJ, also our first Lead the Movement conference, which was at Pfizer Forum.
Yeah.
So that's why, and that picture looks so dope.
Yep.
Like that picture looks so fire. And it's like it's also got like purple lights in it, so it like fits your brand like so perfectly.
Yeah. So the person who was designing the website, she was like, "Hey, do you have some pictures of you DJing?" I was like, "Yeah, I got some pictures. They ain't all like professional pictures though, so I'm just shooting some." I'm thinking she gonna glaze right over this one. This is like, I think Godzilla took this on his phone, sent it to me, and it's one of my favorites. Right. I was like, yeah, she's not gonna be going for this. She's like, "Oh no, this is perfect." I got "Oh no, you did that." So shout out to Foureva Media, just for having me. So that was what, 2022?
Yeah, 2022, man. That was very ambitious conference. But man, we pulled it off, and it also thanks to you and people like you for believing and just helping with that. And everybody loved the vibes that you set for that day. And it's just like, I'm just staring at the picture now. It's just crazy. It takes you right back to the day.
Yeah.
And so that's just so dope. So anybody that's listening that's ever been to any of our events, I'm telling you right now, like the Share the Vibes Festival is the same type of energy. Different groups of people are coming together. They're collaborating, connecting over music and entertainment, but also media, podcasting, talks around tech, and just around community as well. And that's why we've always been supporters of this event. Obviously, actually a lot of people that I know attend this event. In all honesty, a lot of people, like I'm seeing a lot of the pictures and stuff. I'm like, okay, Promise, I see you, DJ Leo. Yeah. Just so many amazing people that are out there. Can you let everybody know, like, why did you start the Share the Vibes Festival? Like, why did you want to do this? And why did it have to be you to start this?
So Share the Vibes came to be around 2019. So if you've never heard the backstory, by the time I moved to Milwaukee 2015 from
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
Miles College in Birmingham, working at GE Healthcare, like I said. And somehow between like 2015, 2017, I kind of just became the music guy among my friend groups. I wasn't DJing, nothing like that, but I was listening to everything that dropped on Fridays, and I just text people I knew, like, hey, Wayne just dropped something. You might want to check this out. Or, hey, I just heard this new R&B song from this artist I've never heard of before, but it's your vibe. Like, check this out. So I was doing that for like 15, 20 different people. I'm sending out all these text messages whenever I hear a song or album I like. I was like, there has to be a better way to do this. So 2019, I dropped a Facebook group. And literally, you have to name a Facebook group before you make it. And Share the Vibes was the first thing that came to mind. So I did Share the Vibes, put a bunch of music emojis after it, and that's what it was. And then like a few days later, I was in the shower. I was like, hold up, I think I got something here. So we probably had, let's call it somewhere between 20 and 40 people who joined the group initially. And this consisted of people from my Milwaukee crew, people I went to school with, people from back home, family, and all of them are interacting around these songs that are getting dropped in the group. I said, all right, we got people having connections and conversations that wouldn't normally be doing this. So that's how this started. And over that next year, I was having conversations with like Nadia Johnson. Shout out to Nadia, who's doing our workshop.
Yeah, shout out to Nadia, man.
Yeah,
she's
doing big things with Milky Way Tech Hub. So we were kind of like accountability partners, and I think she sent me a business plan template. I talked to some others. So over that next year, like I kept saying, all right, I'm gonna get this business together. I'm gonna put the business plan together. I want to start here, whoop de whoop. And then my daughter was born. My youngest daughter was born May 2020. So like smack dab middle of the pandemic, like when it still wasn't cool. Like she was born at this time. So I'm home for like 6 weeks on paternity leave. So I sat it on the patio, and that's really when I put the business plan together. Just on paternity leave, baby girl taking a nap, sit outside, might have a little drink, and putting the business plan together. So in that plan, I had in there some type of festival. Didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know if it was, and I think I literally wrote out, this might be something intimate, kind of like Tiny Desk. This might be something big like Coachella. I have no clue. I just wrote it in there and didn't think anything about it again for like another year or two. So the next summer, I went by DJ Lolo. So I shout out to Lolo. She'll be with us this year too. Lauren Feaster. And somebody there just kind of like drunkenly said to me, so Share the Vibes Fest. And I had not mentioned this to like her or anybody else for that matter. But I was like, you know what? I've actually been thinking about that. And at that point, I said, you know what? I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going to do it. And so I started hitting up people and say, hey, I'm going to do the Share the Vibes Fest next year. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how we're paying for it. I don't know if anybody's going to come out. But yeah, we're doing it. So as I started pulling people together, I was like, hey, so I'm going to do this festival this summer. Like, oh, what's it going to look like? I don't know yet. But we're doing that. So that's really how the festival came to be. But it was, my first few events were Zoom kickbacks during COVID, where I would come in, we have 3 rounds with 3 different themes. People would share a snippet of a song based on their theme. But in doing that, you also had to introduce yourself as well. So people from the Facebook group started to put faces to names because they were from different circles in my life. So you talk about why was it me? I was the linchpin here, bringing these people together, using my passions for music and technology to do all of this. So that was the birth of this. So the festival is like my brainchild, and I got people around me that could help make it happen. And we've been learning each year since then. But that's really what it was. It was, I had something here that was bringing people together. I want to do something a little bit bigger. And then I realized, I know a lot of artists in Milwaukee, but not a lot of people know them. So that first year or two, that was pretty much me reaching out to people I knew, like, hey, you want to perform? I'm gonna try to figure out a way to pay you, and all that. But you want to come perform? And that's how I know those first couple lineups came to be. So I knew some artists that were talented, and I knew there were people who would enjoy hearing them, and I knew those artists would benefit from being exposed to those audiences. So that's why it was me. That's why I started the festival, and then talking to different people. That's when, hey, you should do a workshop. Hey, you should do a panel. Hey, think like South by Southwest or something. That's how it all kind of came to be.
Oh, and that's how it evolved over time.
And now it's evolved over time into what it is now.
Yeah, that's dope. I think there's a huge learning lesson for everybody listening and watching. People, a lot of everybody, people have ideas, right? And then it just kind of sits in our brain, but not many people execute on them. And there's something to be said about how you went about executing. You didn't necessarily have the plan. You said you kind of put out a business plan of what the idea looks like on paper, which is good. You should write out your idea. But the other thing that's really special is that you actually went around and talked about that idea to people and said, yo, I'm doing this. I don't have everything mapped out, but I'm doing this. Would you want to come to something like this? Do you want to be a part of it? And so you started to put that idea actually into fruition and gave it some legs, gave it some life, and see the viability of the idea. Because a lot of people's ideas that's just exactly what they are. They're just ideas, and then they just die, And so you actually going out and making that happen and then evolving it over the years is incredible. So I think a lot of people can learn from that. You don't have to have all the answers. Like, just go out and put it out into the world and see see what happens if you get enough people. And also, depending on how much you're talking about it and who you're talking to, somebody might come along and be like, yo, I love that idea. Actually, let me help you, man. Let me help you with that. Let me, embrace it. Let me give you some contacts, some connections, whatever it is. And that's just so special, man. So now this thing has evolved into almost like a South by Southwest type vibe where you have learning, panels, but now you have like live podcasts. You still have the entertainers that are coming through. You have DJs. Now, how does that work with the flow of the event? Because now there's so much happening. So like what should someone expect if they come out to Share the Vibes?
No, that's a great question. And it's something that we've been figuring out each year. So like I said, at first year, just kind of try some stuff. Second year, made it a little bit better. And last year, I felt like we perfected the flow. That felt like our best festival yet, as far as what the experience was and how things flowed throughout the day. So what I learned is that let's start with the tech. Let's start with the learning, and then we'll transition into the music and the game. So it doesn't get broken up in a weird way where you lose people, or you got a podcast going on up front and people are talking in the back. And so those are things you learn over time. So we start the day with our tech workshop. So at 12 o'clock, we'll have our official kickoff, and somewhere between 12 and 12:15, we'll have Dr. Nadia Johnson kicking us off with that tech workshop, which this year is around profit with AI. Strategies for this new digital economy. So we hear all this talk about ChatGPT and Gemini and Copilot and Gen AI and all this other stuff. And a lot of us, we use it to say, hey, make this email sound better for me, or give me an idea of how to do this. But the D is going to be showing people and walking people through how to create something tangible that you can then take and use to generate profit. Maybe that's a coloring book. Maybe that's a prototype for your brand. Maybe it's a logo. I don't know. But we're going to come in there, and I don't know all the details of it. I'm intentionally not being close to it. So I'm going to be learning like everybody else. But the idea, you're going to get hands-on, tangible takeaways there, so you can literally leave with something that you can use and monetize. And then that transitions into our live podcast. So Tech Workshop, this year is going to be very hands-on. Last year was more of a lecture style, but we're getting very hands-on this year. So bring your laptops, bring your phones, and we're going to get down and dirty and build something. But then they're going to transition into our live podcast. So this when you get a little bit more energy, because it's not a panel discussion, it's a podcast. So it's a conversation like we're having now. I mean, last year, my 1J, he was at that Lead the Movement conference as well. We the visionary, as we call him in the podcast world in Milwaukee. But he had questions for the other people that were in the podcast, but the microphone was moving around that room the whole time. People were so into it, and I loved it as a coordinator because you have these discussions, and sometimes people are just staring at you. But this one where people really got into it and were a part of the experience, which is another part of what Share the Vibes was all about. So that's cool. We get into our live podcast discussion this year, which is around modern revenue streams as a creator. So we have DJ Bizon, who is a very well-known DJ globally, one of the best to do it, and he's also a Twitch partner. So if you're know anything about streaming and Twitch, there's different levels. You can be the people that go on the casually and stream. Then you have affiliate where you can start to monetize, and partner. That's when like you're the truth of this and you're really getting paid to do this. So he's a Twitch partner, really does this thing. We also have my 1J Thompson in that live podcast with Audio Moguls Media, with Share the Vibes Podcast as a part of that network. And he's mobilizing the voices of people, especially Black and brown voices. I'm talking about different topics and teaching them how to podcast and how to monetize those things to build up what they're doing. And Shell White will be with us as well, who is the creator of MuSample, which deals with music administration and teaching people how to properly get your business together with their music. How to clear samples, all these things, getting your splits together, all your sheets, registrations, all the stuff you don't know you need to do as a musician. She handles all that, but she also streams and does content and hosts events. So this is going to be a great discussion just around in today's age. There's different ways to create. You don't just have to be a musician. You don't just have to be an athlete. You don't just have to go viral on social media. There's different ways to create. But if you are a creator, there are modern and unique ways to do that. So that's going to be a conversation all around the different ways to just generate revenue as a creator. So that's the first half of the day. That gets us to about 2:00, if you will, 2:30. That's tech, that's learning, that's talking. And then the rest of the day, we get into those live performances and the audience competitions in between. So we got local emerging artists coming, they're performing their sets. We got DJs, so it's music is live, it's high energy, and we have these games in between where the audience gets to be a part of the experience. It's not just you come and look at us. No, you get to be a part of Share the Vibes. That's what sets us apart. You're actually what do you call that? A spoke in the wheel?
Spoke in the wheel. You're an ingredient in the dish, man.
Absolutely. You're the bacon. You're the pig, not the chicken. Like you got, right. You're committed to the experience. So that's how we get the flow of the day. So by the end of it, everybody's kind of gotten comfortable. You've seen people get up and get into these games, and you learn that, hey, I can be a part of this too, and kind of break the ice. People are having conversations, meeting people. That's always my favorite part. Just people telling me, hey, I met such and such. We're going to be working together pretty soon. Or one of the sponsors came up to me last year, like, hey, I just wanted you to know I got like 6 leads coming out of this event just by being a sponsor there. And this has turned into some business for me. So that's what I love to see, man. But that's the flow.
Yeah, 100%. That's super dope, man. Speaking of, with on the music side, so who's your top 5 artists of all time?
All time. All time.
Should it looks like you got a lot of people that are into hip hop. Should we just say your top 5 hip hop artists?
Okay, I was about to go a different route because I'm.
Where were you gonna go?
So I Marvin Gaye is up there for me.
Okay, hold on. Maybe let's go top. maybe just do artists. This is good. Maybe just do artists.
Yeah, so I know I have to go Marvin Gaye,
legend. Yeah.
See, top 5: Marvin Gaye. I'm gonna go Jay-Z. When you think hip hop and longevity and what he's been able to do with the business, there's not too many people have done that. So Marvin, Jay-Z. I'm gonna show Beyonce her flowers.
Okay,
she's doing her thing, and I wasn't thinking about Beyonce when I said Jay-Z, or vice versa. It just happened to be there.
This is no in particular order, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just throwing it out
Just
there.
top 5. Okay.
I love Luther Vandross.
Man, this
Luther
music is
Vandross.
so good.
And I'm not gonna overthink it too much. I'm gonna go with the Isley Brothers.
Okay. So you also appreciate that R&B.
Oh yeah,
in your life.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
I feel like too, the older you get, the more you just be like, man, I just want to listen to some R&B, man.
So I'm 31, I'll be 32 I think next week, something like that. So based on, I turned 32 yesterday. Maybe if you listen to this on drop day. So I'm 31, 32 and whatever you hear this. But you talk to my friends, they'll tell you I'm like 75 for real. Like I grew up listening to those Body and Soul CDs that was basically like mixtapes, for mixtapes before like the mixtape era, if you will. You had Isley Brothers on there, and the Miracles might be on there too, and Teddy Pendergrass and all this. So it was all that complete. That's the stuff I was listening to. That's my mama had me a little bit older and grew up in church, so I couldn't listen to cussing, around her and stuff. So there's a lot of albums I didn't hear all the way through until I was an adult. Because I couldn't get them when I was younger, but I could listen to those Body and Soul CDs. I could listen to Luther.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like some of those days, man. I just feel like R&B is just so different nowadays. You just don't get that same, man, that soul, man. That soul that they were singing with. And also, I just feel like R&B turned into, especially a lot of like the new R&B has turned into like, I don't know, man. They just used to be like a mystery, like and now they just saying everything they do in the bedroom, man. I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to hear all that, man. Lord, at least something to the imagination.
Yeah, it's definitely deliberate. Now it's there's not much discretion. But if you listen to some of the older music, you get it too. But I will say, to your point, it was mysterious. So one of my favorite revelations in like the last 2 years, so not last year, I think it was year before last, Amazon had a platform called AMP. Maybe that was last year. That might have been last year actually. So I got on AMP, and you can disallow anyone. You could get your phone, do it right now if it was still a thing, but you could go and host your own radio shows. So people from all over hosting radio shows. Then they start getting a bunch of celebrities into it. My guess is it got to be a little bit too expensive, and that's why it's not here anymore. I don't know. But AMP was a super dope platform. So I said, you know what? I'm doing Share the Vibes Radio every Wednesday, 9:00. Got on there and I did Share the Vibes Radio. I do like a 1 or 2 hour show, different themes. And one of those was like songs that mean something different than what you thought they meant. And I learned through this that Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire, one of the most soulful, smooth songs of all time, really about a one night stand. Listen to it.
Really?
Listen to it. Now the love games have been played and all the illusions, just a parade. I'm messing up the words on it, and all the illusions start to fade after all the reasons why. After all the reasons we're alive, all the reasons why. After the love games have been played and all the illusions is just something like that. But you listen to it. Life on the road. Life on the road. It was about a one night stand.
Dude.
But they made it sound so romantic. Yeah, you gonna be like, dang, I never knew that. That's crazy. But now
I will listen to it.
Now I can't hear it in a different way.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that, man. You be like, you think that they're talking about one thing, but you get older, like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
you're talking about
the Macarena.
The Macarena. Not the Macarena.
The Macarena. Look it up. Look it up. Her husband was away in the military and she was doing her thing. Look it up.
You gonna ruin these songs for you, man.
Adam ruins everything. Yeah, so that was stuff I did. But to your point, so stuff was a little bit mysterious back then. You don't have to really guess now. You kind of know what's up.
Yeah, man. Well, that's gonna be a fun clip Maybe we go put some music or something with that, just enough so people understand what it is. That's gonna be a fun clip. No, this is cool, man. So what kind of organizations you got that have been a part of this event?
Yeah, man. Well, I was so thankful for all of our partners. No matter whether you're giving, promoting, or whatever. So I know a partner that has worked with us most of our years has been Hyphen and Radio Milwaukee. Hyphen actually was launched the day after the first festival. So that was a pretty cool connection we were able to make. We were June 18th, 2022, and they launched on Juneteenth, 2022. So that was super dope. I remember Element came in there with her Hyphen jean jacket on and Hyphen Converses and just doing her thing. So shout out to and Element. So yeah, we got Hyphen Radio Milwaukee with us this year. The Sherman Phoenix is a huge partner this year. So we're glad to have Dr. Thompson and the Sherman Phoenix with us.
Shout out Stacia.
One of my guys back from school has a phenomenal logistics company now, Jackson International Express. So they're a big sponsor for us this year. Sumptuous Spirits out of Michigan, mobile bartending business that sold into what we're doing this year. Afro Charts, you mentioned DJ Leo earlier. If you come to Share the Vibes Fest this year, you get your ticket, you will get 6-month premium subscription to Afro Charts for free.
Nice.
So hey,
6 months.
6 months.
Hey, people normally just do like a month or two, man.
He's showing love. He's showing love.
That's showing love, man.
Gonna Share the Vibes, Afro Chart, 6 months premium for free.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I know I'm forgetting people. Educators Credit Union, Career Coach Sale.
Yeah. Cardin and Stone, I see.
Yeah. Cardin Stone. Yeah. That store will be dropping soon, doing a feature on us. Cardin Stone was actually at the event last year, doing live interviews. Naisha's down in Atlanta now. So she can't be there, but she's still. I think we might have an ad on her website right now, and we got a feature coming up pretty soon. So shout out to Naisha and Cardin Stone. She just got a dope deal with Amazon too. So shout out to her.
Oh, dope! I did not know about that.
Yeah. No, she's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. I know there's others that I'm forgetting. Tailored Training Solutions, Flip That Fear.
Social X.
Social X is always a partner. Shout out to Social X and Quay and what they're doing over there.
That's cool, man.
Muse Sample, Goodland Photo Booth will be in the building with us. And there's others I know I'm forgetting. So count it to my head, not my heart.
Yeah, man. What so you have all these partners. So I know that a lot of our audience, they're putting on events, maybe that they have their own podcast. How are you getting these partners? How do you get somebody to buy into your vision to help you put this whole thing together? How are you what's working for you? That way somebody else can be able at least to learn a little bit of what the magic is, what Devin's doing.
People ask me this often, and I have not figured it out. But I'll tell you what I've done technically, and then I'll tell you what I think kind of like the real answer of it all is. But technically, I put together a sponsorship deck. So even from the first year, I put together what is it that we're trying to do, because one thing you have to realize, you're building a business, you're putting on an event, you're coming up with an idea, you're launching a product. Nobody is thinking about this thing the way you are. So as clear as it may be in your head, it's almost never that clear to someone else. So that's why people ask you, hey, what is that you're trying to do? A lot of times we'll stumble with trying to explain it because I can't really give you the words for it, but I just know the pieces work. They come together.
Especially something like you doing with this, man. This ain't your lunch and learn, bro. This is a lot. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. So we need things like a sponsorship deck just to clearly lay out what is it that we're trying to achieve. We need to be able to clearly and concisely tell people what is the objective of this. Because everybody's not going to want to invest in what you're doing, but there's a contingency of the population that will have an interest in what you're doing. So for me, is promoting emerging music artists, providing technology education, promoting businesses, and helping people form relationships that causes the community to thrive. And this is also an opportunity to potentially drive like retention and growth in your cities to get people into these jobs and things. So you have to speak the language of the people you're trying to get invested in what you're doing. Because most people don't care that I'm having a music festival, but they do care that I'm bringing together people that are interested in technology, and that we're upskilling people with technology skills that can then turn into people that could maybe be employees for them, or maybe they could be partners for them to do things that they need and find value in. So find out what it is that you're doing, put that into words, and share that, in a way that's clear and concise. So I do that through a sponsorship deck. I lay out my objectives. I put together sponsorship packages, because different people want to invest at different levels. I mean, when you do that, you get different things as a part of that, because we need to give you value in return. So that's a certain number of admissions. That's placement with our marketing. Depending on how much you give, depends on those certain different types of perks you get at the festival itself, and beyond. And I also don't approach people solely for money. So if you've gotten a sponsorship email from me, I intentionally say sponsors and strategic partners, because sometimes the value you can give me is bringing me on your podcast that's going before your audience of entrepreneurs who could get some benefit out of my event. For some people, is they have a massive email list so they can share things out to. Somebody blesses us out and know that we got a lot of vendors to give them opportunities to come with their businesses this year. Some people have media platforms. Some people have connections to artists. Like Leo, he sponsored one of our artists last year who was an Afrobeats artist. Like there's different ways that people can.
Oh, that's some gems right there, man.
And advance.
People always just looking for the bread, man. And it's like, think about what the way on kind of how I like to word is like, think about all the activities that need to happen throughout the event. And you've already done a great job of mapping out for the audience, but think about all the things that need to happen for your event. So if that's the food, that's the venue, that's the certain activities, that's, booths, that's, whatever it is, all the things that need to happen for the event, and just say there could be a partner for each. Right. And you're just helping people navigate to what you need. So, okay, you need artists. Okay, cool. Some people could just, like you said, sponsor an artist to come out. So that way that helps alleviate one less thing that you got to be in charge of and figure out and take care of at the end of the night. So it's strategic partners are essential, especially like if budgets are tight, like that is the way to do it. I even feel like, I know on the other side of the coin, right? I know large companies that put on put on their own events, bro. They're spending way too much money. I'm like, why is the budget so massive for this little thing that you're doing, this little annual retreat that you're doing with your company? It's like, why is it $200,000 for you to put this thing together? When I'm like, yo, if you gave me 10,000, I can have this whole thing cracking for you.
Listen.
Through partnerships, through, the venue, the food is, and AV is usually your biggest cost. Doing anything, and then typically maybe it might be a big speaker or something like that you have coming through. But then there's all these other ancillary, these other costs that come in. So I think you did a great job helping people, think about their event, what's working for you, also how you're presenting it. And how you're talking about it, and you've got proof in the pudding. That's why people are asking you this question, because they see all the logos that that you have with your event. And I'll tell you this, I'm gonna add like one little extra thing on what all the information you just gave. But look, man, once you get your first sponsor, all the others are easier. Every single one is either. And so think about this, from people that are listening and watching. Maybe that first sponsor is a strategic sponsor, right? In a certain area that's helping you alleviate something within your event. But then, man, at least you have somebody else that said yes to your event, your idea, and they're co-signing it. That's what we say in the entertainment world. You co-sign something. They're co-signing your vision, and it helps somebody else. You see, oh, Sherman Phoenix is involved. Maybe I should get involved. It helps that it craft the narrative for your event. And so you're doing an absolutely incredible job, man, with this event. Where do you see this in your eyes, Devin? Like, where do you see this event going? Like, I just want to get inside the visionary's head for a second. And like, where do you want to take this thing, man? So you're already on year 4, which is crazy even to say.
It is. It is.
But where would you like this to go in your vision of where you want this to kind of take you?
Yeah, no, it's that's the question, right? So what next? So I envision Share the Vibes Fest being something that travels around to different cities, and not because I'm clout chasing or I want to build a name in all these places. It honestly has nothing to do with me. It's because listen to what I said. Share the Vibes Fest is about. Going back to the conversation we were just having, it's promoting emerging music artists. It's providing technology education. It's promoting business owners, bringing people together to form meaningful relationships. That's something that's needed in every single city across the country. Every city has talented artists. Every city has people who need to know about technology. Every city has business owners that need promotion and opportunities to share what they're doing. Every city needs to have meaningful relationships built among their community. So Share the Vibes provides one place that's safe, is fun, is family friendly, it's inviting, and you can knock out all three in one. So I want to take that to different cities. So I want to go to Atlanta and promote your emerging music artists and businesses. I want to go to Birmingham and do that. I want to come to Charlotte and do that. DC, like it doesn't matter, but we can. There's a need. There's a niche for this everywhere. There's a use case for it. No, for my business people out there. So that's what I see. I see it being a traveling festival, so that we can expand the impact. That's gonna be my prayer this year. I'm asking God, hey, everything that I'm connected to, I want this year to be impactful, profitable, and scalable. That's what we know we're trying to do. So that's what I see. I even see it going to college campuses, similar concept, promoting the students and the alumni at those campuses. And that gets the schools invested in what we're doing here. So yeah, I have a vision for how to scale it and take it different places. I've been trying, figure out the sausage making process these first few years.
Right.
And there's still a few things I need to do. But then we're gonna start getting to it. So yeah,
that's dope, man. I mean, the vision definitely sounds grand. But you're right. Every city needs it. So if you guys are listening in, especially if you're in the Midwest, like check this event out. It's one of a kind, and I always tell people like you got to be willing to change your circle, man. Like get outside. People are like, yo, I ain't making any money. Get outside, go out here to these events, get connected. And also, and I was just ranting to one of our clients today that I coach and advise, but I was like, yo, not enough people are actually looking for opportunity. Like really looking. I think people just are waiting for like opportunity just to show up, like wrapped in a bow and perfectly placed, like right in their hand for them to do anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's the amount of people also that don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like this event, like, hey, you go here. How many people can you connect with just to ask for help of whatever your vision is, your business is, whatever you're trying to do?
Yep.
Also, get outside and start learning about AI. Learning about, like, it sounds like this year's event is heavy on revenue. It sounds like, because I know past years there's been like a mixture, and then there's been other like tech skills and other things like that have been, but this seems like it's heavy on revenue. Why revenue right now in 2025?
Listen to your question. I don't know about the listeners, but I could use some more of it. so I mean, and it goes back to everything goes back to what's in it for the attendee. Like why is this important? Why is this something sponsors should be investing in? We're talking about music technology, but no, revenue is important. How can you leverage music and technology to bring more revenue into your life, so that you are able to change that circle and change your life? Like Jamar preaches, nothing's free here. I mean, we live in a society and a time where things are getting more expensive. We're dealing with tariffs and inflation and all this other stuff and wars, and it's crazy. Like I don't know that it's getting any better anytime soon. So we have to figure out how to navigate the turmoil. You can't just sit by and stay in your cocoon, just saying, oh man, tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. Like, faith without works is dead. So we pray, but we're trying to give you tools that you can take and use to start making that own difference in your life and in your businesses. That's what it's all about. And if you're an artist, there's people that's at this festival, who know what it takes to monetize your music, to make sure you're protecting yourself, and doing the things you need to do. So when you do blow up, when you get that, that bad bitty moment, you get that viral moment, you're in position to do what you need to do with it. So that's what it's all about, man. Revenue is important, and we're in a time where people are struggling. Housing market is crazy. So if you're trying to do some of these things that we talk about in this American dream, we gotta have these modern revenue streams. So we're trying to give you the tools to get them.
And I think the cool thing too is like you incorporate music into your festival, but a lot of music artists need to think about their music as a business.
Yeah,
and I think that's like such a big. I like there should be a lot of artists going to an event like this.
Yep.
Okay, how do I monetize me? Like, if you're a musician or an artist, you are a creator.
Yep.
And you should be creating content. You should be putting that out there. You should be going crazy with that and figure out ways to monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
You should have the place packed with artists, that are trying to learn about this stuff. AI, how do you get profitable with it? How do you utilize those tools? So I think that, artists should also be going out to this. Entrepreneurs, for sure, creators should be going out to this. So that way they can get connected and get plugged in, and you actually get real FaceTime with these speakers that you brought in. How do you go about your speaker selection process? Like how do you choose the right people to make sure that the message gets across?
Yeah, so first year, maybe first 2 years, it was all me. I was kind of doing it all. Just say, I think you could do this, and I'll reach out to somebody like, hey, you got somebody that can do this. So since then, I built a committee and learned how to delegate. So I have someone on my committee who knows how to podcast and is connected with podcasters and connected with people who can talk about these topics. So I've delegated that to that person to go find them. We have conversations about it and see what makes sense and go from there. Same thing with the workshop. I have somebody in the committee that I say, hey, this is what I kind of want the conversation to be around this year. Is what I'm envisioning. Who do you know that can do that? And that's kind of how it goes. So I even have I learned this term is your talent buyer. We have a talent buyer for the festival now. So first year or two, it was me reaching out to artists I knew saying, hey, will you perform? Now I have somebody who knows about music administration, that knows these different artists in the city, that curates events for artists to perform. She actually, shout out Shell, just had a set at Summerfest this past weekend. Bringing out local artists, giving them that platform. So getting people that are plugged in, especially with me being in Charlotte now, I can't be there to be the hands and feet of everything. So that's another thing for those who are listening. You're trying to do events, you're trying to launch businesses and grow things and scale them. You got to learn how to delegate and relinquish some of that control. Get some people around you that can do the things that you need to do, so you can focus in on a few certain areas and let the team help you bring it together.
Yeah, dude, you dropping gems today.
It's just what I've been learning these 5 years, man.
You've been dropping gems, man, and you know what really helps though, you doing this, and I just want to give you your props, for putting on this event 4 years straight, is that you're not only are you a visionary, but you are also a leader, because it would be really hard to put a committee together if you weren't leading. Right? Yeah. If you were just, all in it for yourself, don't know how to cast the vision, don't know how to explain it, get other people buy-in on it, it would be extremely hard for you to do that. But like you're a guy that can cast that vision for people actually to follow, man. And building that committee and just a team around it, the partners and sponsors to come in, the speakers, the talent. I mean, everybody's believing in you and your vision and what you've created. And they're all buying in, man. So that's props to you for just creating something like this, because it takes guts. It takes guts to do something like this. So yeah, man, that's absolutely incredible.
I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to you. So we talked about, and we kind of breezed over a little bit. You go to the website, you see me in the Fiserv, DJing at the Movement Conference, which Jamar did not expect to see that today. By the way, like he did not know that he was doing his preparation for this. He didn't even tell me this. I just know how it goes. He's doing his preparation. Like, wait a minute. So yeah. But what you don't know as the listeners is, I was less than a year in at that point, with DJ and when Jamar asked me to do this conference. And I don't even know if you knew that or not, but yeah,
Nope.
I was like less than a year in for real. So when you talk about me setting that vibe there, I really didn't know what I was doing yet. I still don't think I know what I'm doing, but like I really didn't know what I was
This is
doing
great.
but yeah, I was in that 5 surges up there. Like, yep, I'm confident. I got it. But it worked. So shout out to you for believing in me. And that kind of put the batter in my back too.
Yeah.
I was it came to me maybe that might have been late last year. And now just one day, I think I was going through old pictures and I came across that picture. I was like, don't squander an arena anointing on a backyard vision.
Say that one more time.
Yo, don't squander an arena anointing on a backyard vision. Be justice. We met at your Lead the Movement conference, and he performed at the second Share the Vibes festival.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But one of my favorite songs, and it happens to be about him, is August 21st. He'll tell you this. Yep. And I told him he had to perform it when I asked him to come perform. But he has a line in there. He says, I was anointed and appointed. It's only right I coined it.
Yeah, man. It's that thing of like sometimes we feel like we're not worth the moments that we're presented, right? And some people go into a shell and they go and hide from the moment that's presented in front of them. And we just talked about opportunities. Like you could have said in your brain, in your mind of like, man, am I ready for this? Like, dude, I don't think they realize that like I'm still trying to figure this joint out. They want me to go in an arena, in a sports arena.
Yeah.
It's but you in your mind, you said, yo, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the opportunity. I'm worth it.
Yep.
I'm worth it for this opportunity. Let me step into this. And that's you that has to do that.
Yeah.
And that's special, man, because not a lot of people do that. They shy away from the opportunity and they just like, oh, and all these negative thoughts come in their head of like why they shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And then they're kicking themselves later of like, man, I ain't getting no opportunities. I ain't like, oh, how come I can't get anything going? But dude, like sometimes the door opens, you gotta, if it cracks open for you a little bit, you gotta step through.
Yeah.
You definitely, and you did that, man. And it that's why I do things like this. And I found out later on, like my true purpose, I would say, in what I love to do. But you saying that just validates why I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Because like to give you that opportunity to have you step into that and just even to be in the arena, right? Hear the music cracking. I mean, it was cracking. I was like, yo, I mean, it's cracking. And just to be on the stage, like when you look at this photo, it's just like, it's amazing to put people into places where we can fast track the success, right? And that's what's amazing. And actually, this is a perfect segue because that's why you have to show up to events like Share the Vibes Festival, because it fast tracks your success. If you're sitting at home and you don't understand what's going on and you're like, man, I'm not worth it, or you don't even have the headspace or the mindset around yourself to say, okay, how do I get those opportunities? Okay, it looked like it worked out for him, but maybe it won't work out for me. You have to show up. You have to be in these spaces. You got to, what is it? $20, $26, $27. Like, come on, dude. You spend more at Chili's. Like what are we talking about? Like it's like you spend more at Chili's, man. Show up at the event, get off the couch. If you're listening to this, if you guys are in Milwaukee, Chicago, even Minnesota, like anywhere in that vicinity, you don't have an excuse, right? If you're like, yo, I'm not getting the connections I want, I'm not getting the visibility I want, I'm not getting the right type of knowledge to get me to the next level, I'm not making the kind of money I want to right now, you don't got $27 to show up. like for real. Like to actually step into where you want to go. Like you got to be in these spaces to have that transformation happen. It's not going to happen with you sitting on the couch. It's not going to happen with you just woe is me. Like you got to step into this stuff. And that's just real, man. Like, and I'm going on a little tangent, but like it's real, man. I don't understand 2025 people just sitting on the couch. And then they're complaining online. They're like, yo, where's my phone at? They're like, yo, this is not happening. This sucks. The economy, this and that. It's like, yo, get off the couch.
Yeah.
Get off the phone and do something, man.
Got to. And that's the beauty of Share the Vibes Fest. When you put on events, you launch companies, they kind of take on the personality of the person who's doing them. So, if you know me, I'm one who's like, hey, I'm not judging you. Do your thing. This is a space where it's a safe space. Like nobody's gonna come in here like you don't know what Chat GPT is. Like, no, you're gonna come here. All right. Well, you'll know in 5 minutes. Like you'll know when you leave here. Like, so this is a space where like, you get the ticket, you come through. Like we're gonna take care of you. Like we got you. It's not one of the major conferences where you got to drop a bag to go hear somebody talk about this. Like we making it accessible. That's the whole point. It's accessible, it's engaging, it's available to you. That's the whole point. Is you want to take these lessons, this upskilling that you have to pay very good money to do, oftentimes, and put it to you in a way that's accessible for you, that's engaging, that's digestible, and people that are approachable. You can go to people throughout here and say, hey, man, I heard what you said. Can you tell me more about that? And people have these conversations, and the conversations can continue after the event. That's where the beauty of it comes from. Jamar and I connected because I took that step and had that first Share the Vibes Festival. And somebody at Penrod was like, hey, I think y'all might want to talk. So like that's how that came. And the conversations continue after that. So that's the beauty of it. It's not something to be intimidated by. No, we make these things accessible and available for you. So hey, it's here. Come get it. We got you,
dude. So you guys don't got an excuse. Get out there. Location is in Milwaukee at 1818 North Farewell Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The website is sharethevibesllc.com /STV Fest. It's very easy to find, guys. It's very easy to go to. And the date is July 12th, Saturday, 2025, and it's from 12 to 7, man. You guys got to make the decision though. People like us, we're creating the spaces for you to succeed. It's up to you to show up. It's as simple as that. Do you believe in yourself enough to show up in these kind of spaces? That's the real question. And that's what I've learned over the years. Sometimes I got so frustrated. Why aren't people showing up? They don't believe in themselves enough to show up in the places that they need to be. So like, you guys got to make this decision. We're putting it on a silver platter for you, showing up. And like you said, like you get to actually connect with a lot of the speakers, the entertainers, like talk about access.
Yeah.
Otherwise before you got to start sending emails, you got to try to get a meeting and blah, blah, blah. Like just show up. Grab your tickets. You can get tickets online. You can also request to be a sponsor on there as well. You can also request to be a vendor as well. Is it too late? Is it? I'm sure you'll take a conversation, won't you?
Yeah. We'll talk with you for sure. Yeah. Still accepting sponsors, vendors. You might have to go on a wait list at this point because vendor spots are filled up pretty quickly over the last week or two.
Yeah. Okay.
But sponsors, vendors, definitely reach out. We will have a conversation and see if we can make work for sure.
That's super dope, man. I appreciate you having you on the podcast, man. This has been good. Like a lot of things that people can learn, especially about casting a vision, making it come true, putting an event together, how to get partners, and then also just like how to really increase your network too, and taking an idea and actually put it into execution. So, man, this is incredible. Happy to be a part of this thing, man. And any other places that you want people to go to?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Share the Vibes LLC. So make sure you're following us. We're putting a lot of content out there right now. Podcast clips highlighting the different festival participants. There could be some giveaways coming up, everything. You don't know. So make sure you're following us on Instagram at Share the Vibes LLC, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're on all those. So make sure you tap in with us on social media. Join our mailing list. You go to the website, you give it about 2 seconds, a pop-up's going to come up. You can join our mailing list and stay looped in that way as well. ShareTheVibesLLC.com, Share the Vibes LLC across all platforms. And I'm Jink the DJ across most platforms. And if I'm not Jink the DJ, I'm Devin Jenkins. So I'm pretty easy to find too. So tap in with us for sure.
Dope, man. Appreciate having you on. Please, guys, if you're watching, listening, please like, comment, share the podcast episode. Definitely drop us a review. We're trying to get our reviews up. So don't be stingy. Drop us a review. And don't forget, if you can change your circle, you can change your life. Thank you so much, Devin, for being on here. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for more amazing content that we're going to be putting out. And don't forget, you can change your circle to change your life.